We all know the great nation of the United States of America, but in its infancy, there was a great empire that shadowed this young nation in the far west of Africa. Now, it is a smaller and less powerful kingdom, although at its prime it was the first to recognize the United States as a nation. Morocco is a diverse nation that has gone through many changes, but its people and culture stood the test of time. I myself am Moroccan. I have some experience understanding the cultural and custom and social norms within the country, and I also have been there on several occasions. First, I'll give you an overview of Morocco's cultural aspects, then I will dive into the unique communication behaviors of Moroccans, and then I will tell you about a current event happening in Morocco. Now, let me explain to you a quick overview of Morocco's cultural aspects. According to 2020 Culturegram's online World Edition's entry on Morocco, the section titled People, Morocco is composed of three main racial groups: the Berbers, the Arabs, and the West African slave descendants. The largest among these groups is the Berbers and Arabs, and they have intermixed with each other over the centuries, and many Moroccans share common ancestry between these two groups. Another sizable group is the Haradans, also known as West African slaves, and they live throughout the West African slave descendants, and they live throughout the southern part of Morocco. According to 2020 Culturegram Online's World Edition's entry on Morocco, the second title, Religion, Islam is the official religion of Morocco. Sunni Islam is the most popular sect of Islam practiced in Morocco. Other sects are practiced in Morocco, but in minorities. Christians make up a small population of Morocco, and Jews also make a small population of Morocco, but used to live in large numbers of Morocco pre-World War II, but after World War II they began to immigrate to Israel. Many Moroccan peoples unite under Sunni Islam, so they practice their religious faith and they hold their religious traditions within their culture, and many Moroccans, they gather to pray one of the 5 daily prayers in the mosque. I'll now share communication behaviors of Morocco. According to Gert Hosse's and Michael Minkoff's research on the page called What About Morocco, last updated in 2010, Morocco has a very low score of 14, and Moroccans are very clearly normative people. Moroccans hold on to their traditions and their kingdom as well, and they have a problem with major social change and taking away from their core traditions. They exhibit great focus, they exhibit great respect for their cultural traditions, and they focus on getting results quickly. According to Gerd Hosse's Michael Minkoff's research on a page titled What About Morocco, last updated in 2010, Morocco has a low dimension score of 25, indicates that they have great cultural restraint. Moroccans are tend to be pessimistic, and are less individualistic and more a collectivistic nation. People with this orientation have perception that they are restrained by their social norms, and they also believe that it is somewhat wrong to indulge yourself. Now that I've given you insight into Moroccans' unique communication behaviors, I will now describe to you a current event happening in Morocco. Morocco has entered a new phase like many nations across the world during the advent of COVID-19, such as Morocco has adapted new policies and changes to better protect and maintain the safety of its people during these times. According to an article titled Morocco Stepping Up to the COVID-19 Pandemic Outbreak, published by the World Bank on June 16, 2020, Morocco has adapted strict measures to protect their people from the novel coronavirus outbreak, and they have made drastic measures to contain the virus within their nation. Morocco does have a weak medical system, but has ramped up efforts to supply hospitals with the necessary equipment and supplies they need to treat patients with COVID-19. Morocco has planned strict measures to contain the virus and lower the number of infected to prevent an overflow of sick people flooding the already weak medical system. According to the article, Morocco has done measures very quickly to contain the virus, and Morocco has received support from the World Bank. Morocco has canceled intercity and international travel within its borders, and the World Bank has set funds aside to support Morocco's efforts to contain the virus within its borders. Now I have discussed with you these points about Morocco, and I would like to conclude with my final statement. I discussed with you on the cultural aspects of Morocco, and then I finished up with some unique characteristic communication behaviors about Morocco, and then I finally concluded with the current event happening in Morocco. I've now finished sharing some info about Morocco, and I hope that you find this interesting and that you keep an open mind with Morocco, just how they kept an open mind with us.